I have a suspicion, and I could be wrong, that you didn't come here expecting to be depressed and to be sent into despair. I just have that feeling that isn't what you wanted. Most of us don't come to worship desiring to be depressed when we leave. Most of us come here for the opposite reason. I was aware of that last week when I was in Cincinnati and my mom's congregation, and I felt so comforted when I was there by the music and by the words. And I didn't come to be depressed or to be led into despair. I came to be buoyed up. So, who wants the church to make it rougher on us? Who wants the church to lead us into despair and depression? Probably not many of us. But I got to be frank with you, the Bible is very capable of taking us down the hard path, very willing to touch the things that happy, peppy religion often avoids like the plague. From the prosperity gospel preachers and the smiling plastic surgery enhanced televangelists, you probably will never, ever hear a sermon on the book of Ecclesiastes, unless they're talking about chapter 3. And you know the chapter 3, even if you don't know, you know it. That's there's a time and a season for everything and every purpose under heaven. These preachers, they like the season motif. They use that word all the time. We're in a season. They like the season motif, even if they don't recognize that the author of Ecclesiastes is probably lamenting the seasons, not singing their praises. He's probably saying, this is just the way life is. There's a time to be born and a time to die, a time to weep, and a time to laugh. Life has these seasons. It's just the way it is. Ho hum. The Bible is not going to let us off easy. It's not going to just give us the happy stuff, the stuff that makes you smile all the time. It's too real for that. And we got some of the realness today, some of the best realness out of all of the Bible from Ecclesiastes. Vanity of vanities, all is vanity. Life is a puff of smoke, in other words. Life is a vapor, a mist. It has little substance. It disappears quickly. It's meaningless. It's empty. It's just a matter of futility. Aren't you glad you came to church today? Just what you wanted to hear, right? Well, sorry. The Bible is just downright honest. Oh, you say, but I have a very good brain and I can figure things out, so it must not be useless. Well, listen to the teacher again. I, the teacher, was king over Israel in Jerusalem. I applied my mind to seek and to search out by wisdom all that is done under heaven. It is an unhappy business that God has given humans to be busy with. I saw all the deeds that are done under the sun, and see, all is vanity and a chasing after wind. For in much wisdom is much vexation, and those who increase knowledge increase suffering and sorrow. Yikes! You know more, you have greater wisdom, and you multiply your sadness. Now, there is a very cheery thought, especially for those of us who are into education, Might it explain, however, why some of the most intelligent and wisest among us are some of the saddest people we are acquainted with? You know more, and you know, therefore, more of what there is to be sad about. Sometimes it's just easier not to grow in intelligence or wisdom. Sometimes it's just easier to have your head buried in the sand. Even wisdom is vanity. But you say, now, not all things are vanity. I mean, look at how hard I work. There's meaning in my work and what my work gives me. Well, listen to the teacher. I hated all my toil in which I had toiled under the sun, seeing that I must leave it to my successor. And who knows whether my successor will be wise or foolish? Yet he will be master of all for which I have toiled and used my wisdom under the sun. This also is vanity. So I turned and gave my heart up to despair concerning all the toils of my labor under the sun, because sometimes one who has toiled with wisdom and knowledge and skill must leave all to be enjoyed by another who did not toil for it. What do humans get from all the toil and strain with which they toil under the sun? Nothing. All is vanity. What the teacher is saying here is that death puts everything into perspective. And here I thought that since I work harder than everybody else, and I do, by the way, that I earned a few extra points for all my hard work. I am so proud of all my storage spaces that I got because of all my hard work. I mean, I have so many of them. They're scattered all over town. You think you have a big barn? Well, I got a bigger one, and I, by the way, still need a larger one. Yes, I have worked hard for my money, and life better treat me right. But it doesn't. I'm a fool. Adult. This very night, my life is being demanded of me. All the stuff I've collected, where will it take me? And really, who wants it after all? I mean, I probably could pass on the bike. I think I could. But let's be honest, my son probably is not going to take it to the bike shop like I do every year to get it tuned, daggone it. And I can see him. I know him very well. He's going to leave it outside where it will get rusted because of all of the rain. Vanity of vanity. All is vanity. For all the days of human beings are full of pain, and their work is a vexation. Even at night, their minds do not rest. It's true. Sometimes I don't sleep very well because I'm thinking about things over which I have absolutely no control. Things that are like vapor and mist. They come and they go. Oh, it's all vanity. Walter Buzard is right. Our strained efforts are unable to affect a change in the way the world goes. And I love this line from him. Human busyness is generally irksome. Now, isn't it interesting that the book of Ecclesiastes has King Solomon reach these kinds of conclusions? Now, truthfully, there aren't many modern scholars who believe that King Solomon actually wrote Ecclesiastes. It's pretty obvious that he didn't. But the tradition gives him the pen in order to say something profound. If the man who has achieved the highest position in his country, has become the richest in his land, has married the greatest number of wives, 1,000 of them, came to the conclusion that life is vanity, then perhaps you and I should pay attention to the ways that we turn a whole lot of stuff that isn't that important, a whole lot of stuff that is vapor, into something that is entirely too important. Now, you might say, and I have said this, that you find it a bit disingenuous that a rich guy reaches this conclusion. I mean, when you have 7 houses, 14 cars, and 35 big screen televisions, and more power than you can ever imagine, it's easy to conclude, well, this doesn't mean anything. When you're struggling to put food on your table, when there's more month than money, you may not have the luxury to become philosophical, to lose yourself in existential despair. It's very interesting to me, something I've observed in the culture, that atheism tends to be more common among the well-off. I see it among our children in our school districts these days. Those from wealthier schools tend to label themselves atheists more often than those from poorer schools. It's been my experience that when I traveled in poorer regions of the world that atheism is not very popular. There is definitely something about economic wealth that changes one's perspective and perhaps gives you freedom to be in your head more often. Yet, having said that, I will not use that observation as a way to avoid the teacher today. You and I need to take him seriously. It's all vanity. Now, Bill, that seems pretty depressing. And I thought you were a proclaimer of the good news. I mean, you're a Lutheran preacher. We believe in proclaiming good news. Well, where is the good news in all this? Well, first of all, the preacher's just being honest. And there's good news in honesty. We are served by honesty. It's helpful to know that what we experience sometimes is shared by others. At some times, if you're honest with me, you'll say life seems somewhat useless. I'd be honest with you, I'm sharing probably more information than I do. When I'm shaving in the morning, I think about that. Did this yesterday, did this the day before. We'll have to do it again tomorrow and the day after that. It all seems useless. What's the point? I go through the same routine every day. Same old, same old. Paul Tillich says that the teacher's claim that all is useless has biblical authority that is deserved. According to Tillich, it is not an authority produced by a mistake. Some people thought that it was a mistake that they included the book of Ecclesiastes in the Bible. Tillich says the authority of the book of Ecclesiastes is the authority of truth. The teacher's description of the human situation is truer than any poetry glorifying humanity and our destiny. His honesty opens our eyes for those things which are overlooked or covered up by optimists of all kinds. So in other words, we are served by the truth. The truth that you are going to die tonight is a 2x4 that slaps us upside the face and wakes me and you up. Life is really about making money, building bigger barns, collecting stuff, making yourself feel important. You are a fool. By the way, it's not that you're a bad person. That's not what's being said here. Not that you're a bad person. You are a fool. You cannot secure life. Your work can't. Your stuff can't. Your stock portfolio can't. Your power can't. Your popularity can't. Your religion can't. Your good diet and exercise can't. Your politics can't. Your proper behavior can't. All of those things are useless, are vapor when it comes to securing life. Death will have its way with all of us. So why do we get all geeked up about vapor? Life is never something we can secure, earn, or achieve. Life at its depths is gift. You knew I'd get to the good news someplace, didn't you? Life at its depth is gift. We don't make it happen. We don't make it happen. We can't secure it. And the gift is what is most important. To live life in light of the gift will, as Luke suggests, make us rich toward God. The gift will set our minds on the things that are above. When life is about the gift, when life is about grace, a whole lot of stuff won't be so important. Stuff that we do and collect that makes us anxious and tight-fisted. When life is about the gift, we won't need to rank other people, which will help us get rid of anger, wrath, malice, slander, and abusive language from our mouths. When life is about the gift, we will build community. We will be compassionate. We will be generous. When life is about the gift, we can relax. You see, life isn't dependent upon us. All our possessions, all our striving, all our working, all our money. Sometimes we need the tough stuff. Sometimes we need to join the teacher in saying, it's all vanity, because let's face it, sometimes we take life and ourselves entirely too seriously. sometimes we're led to believe it's all up to us. Really? Vanity of vanities. It's all vanity. Say that and then get prepared to live fully and abundantly. Amen.